So, have you heard the advice that if you're going to fight, fight naked? Well, that's really good until you find yourself in Target or Walmart or Starbucks and you and your partner are having a fight because guess what? You won't be invited back there again. I'm Leslie Dories, your marriage coach, creator of the Hero Husband Project, and founder of Foundations Coaching. And I'm doing a series right now of bad marriage advice. Now, a lot of this advice sounds good on the surface, but when you actually try to do it, it doesn't work very well. And this is one of those pieces of advice. It was interesting because I was talking to a friend of mine about this series I'm doing, and he goes, "Yeah, that's how we ended up with our second child," which, sounds like it could be really fun, right? But the problem is that most fights don't happen; they're not planned. And if any advice that you're given that you can't use the majority of the time is probably not really helpful advice. And most of the time, if one of you is upset enough that things are escalating into a fight, getting naked where you're going to be vulnerable is probably not something that you're going to feel like doing. And I again, it's sort of like fighting fair. I understand the thinking behind it, because if you have to take the time to stop and take your clothes off, then what that does is that it actually gives you a moment to take a break, take a breath, to decide, do we want to continue this? It gives you the opportunity to grab the emotions that have gotten hot, and it allows you to calm down, which is great advice. I think it's fantastic. And that's really what I'm trying to get people to understand, is that there are skills that if you can learn them, you actually will never have a fight. And this is what this whole series about fighting is about. And I guarantee this is the last time I'm going to talk about fighting in this bad marriage advice. But the idea is you and your partner are going to disagree. Any two people, I don't care who they are eventually going to disagree about something. Disagreement is not the problem. It's when it's escalating into an argument or a fight where there are harsh words, hard feelings, comments made that are meant to be hurtful because you're feeling attacked in the moment. These are all of the things that get couples into trouble, because what they're missing is how to have difficult conversations, not on the spur of the moment. The truth of the matter is that the only thing that requires an immediate response is, does the doctor perform emergency surgery? Everything else, you have time. But when one or both of you is spun out because your emotions have gotten hot, guess what happens? Your primal brain, the part of your body, the part of your brain that is designed to keep you alive, takes over. And it interprets what's going on as threat, and you're going to respond in kind. So if you're a fighter, you're going to fight. If you're a fleer, you're going to flee. If you're a freezer, you're going to freeze, and you are not going to be able to continue the conversation. And if you do not have the skills to take a productive timeout and then come back to the conversation, you're never going to resolve it. You're just going to end up in this negative feedback loop where one or both of you get hot, things are said or done, you don't resolve it, feelings are hurt, you walk away, it festers, rinse and repeat. And This is what keeps people from having tough conversations. It keeps, it's what is behind people agreeing to things that they don't agree with, because I just want this to stop. And then, of course, they don't follow through, which then creates more problems, as opposed to taking a breath, learning what works, figuring out what it is you want to accomplish in this conversation. And by the way, your partner is not the enemy. But when you're hot, when you're angry, when you're hurt, you see them as the enemy. They're not somebody that you're willing to work with. And this is why you can't get anything resolved. This is why I have this whole aversion to giving people permission to fight, because fighting, whether it's fighting fair or whether it's fighting buck naked, the idea is it's okay to get hot and act when the emotions are high. And again, I'm not telling people not to get upset. Oh my God, can you hear my husband laughing? He's like going, yeah, that would be, not happy. I get hot. I get hot all the time. I have just learned not to do anything in the moment when I am hot. Now, if you're in the car next to me and you'll see my mouth moving, you probably know I'm saying something, but you can't actually hear me, because if you were actually with me, I wouldn't be saying anything. The problem is not the emotions. The problem is not being bothered. The problem is not disagreeing. None of that is the problem. The problem is in how it gets handled. And the idea is, so when we're given permission to fight, what we're doing is we're saying, take off that limiter that you have, the thing that keeps you from going postal with everybody other than your spouse, and go to bat with them, go at them. And that is where the problem comes in. You're not going to resolve anything. What you're going to do is you're going to attack. You're going to feel attacked. You're going to get defensive. You're not going to be able to handle this, and you're stuck. So if you're finding these series helpful, I hope you'll subscribe to them. If you and your partner are caught in this loop, or even just you, where you know that when you get hot, things come out of your mouth that you really don't want to say, then I invite you to do something about it. Because doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is one of the definitions of insanity. So if you want some help with this, then I invite you to get in touch with me and learn how you can either eliminate or severely minimize the number of times you and your partner fight, argue, whatever you want to call those unproductive interactions that leave you both feeling not so great about each other. So put a comment down below. IM me, DM me, whatever we're on, or send me an email at leslie@foundationscoachingnc.com. That's FOUNDATIONS, coaching, and as in Nancy, C as in Charlie.com. And there's no E at the end of Leslie. Thanks, Mom. And hopefully you'll continue to watch these. And until next time, stay loving.